Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NUEL. We're here for the summer season, and today we are in the CSGO playoffs, and we have a fantastic match lined up for you. But alongside me, there is one other, and that is none other than Dream. How are you doing today, Rory?
Yeah, I'm doing really good, thanks, Rook. Really excited for the series we have today in the semi-finals. Lancaster versus York, expected to be one of the best matchups we have for the NUEL Summer Tournament.
It certainly is. As well, probably many of you know, the War of the Roses, and they have their own tournament, and they've played a hell of a lot of times this year, including twice in this very tournament in best of ones, both on Overpass, which, as far as I'm aware, will be our first map.
Yeah, I mean, Overpass is, I think, an expected map, surely. You've got to see it. You look at the stats, you look at the map history. Both of these teams, Overpass is one they both like to play. In fact, in the both BO1s that they played against each other, the map's been played. 16-14, Lancaster took the first BO1, and in the second BO1, Lancaster took the second one. But this time 16-4, which is quite a difference between the first and second. I'm not sure how much of a sort of gap between the times were played, but we'll have to wait and see if they're willing to play Overpass here today. York, I'm sure Lancaster will be more than happy to play it though.
Be interesting to see what goes on there. As you said, is quite a big difference: 16-14 and 16-4. And if you have followed some of this NUEL CS, you will recognize that that's actually quite the common map for the side of Lancaster. They do like this overpass, even in other tournaments like King of the North, or in fact York's very own Fragsock Invitational, where they didn't actually run their own squad, so a bit of a different squad there. But we did see Lancaster, who came out on top in. They didn't win King of the North. They did win the Fragsock Invitational. They came out in first in the Fragsock Invitational, and they played a hell of a lot of overpass because it's a map they're really comfortable on.
Yeah, I believe Lancaster in this summer tournament actually fielding a little bit of a different lineup, but it seems that the map of Overpass has stuck to them. I imagine I can't see it not being in the map pool. Obviously, we have to wait and see what the other two maps are. I believe, I think what the maps will be like, definitely Overpass. I think that's got to be in there. Inferno as well as a more likely one. Possibly even a Dust 2 if we see that come out. Mirage, Nuke, and Train are the most banned maps for these two teams. So I don't think we'll be seeing them, but we'll have to wait and see until we get the information for the veto. Any other than that, though, we have got some interesting statistics or interesting facts for you, considering these both teams. So obviously, we know they've played two BO1s against each other this season, two of them going to Lancaster, and also Warwick, an undefeated team, except for the fact that they actually lost to York, and Lancaster have not beaten Warwick this season yet as well, I believe. Could be interesting.
Yeah.
Warwick and Lancaster, the two probably strongest teams you have in the Summer tournament, and any NUEL tournament we've had so far. So we'll have to wait and see what filled out here.
It is a bit like rock, paper, scissors. Warwick lost to York, York lost to Lancaster, and Lancaster just can't seem to catch a break against Warwick this year. They have been struggling to beat them, losing out King North and generally in NUEL. Both teams playing actually relatively similar styles, and Warwick just seeming to pick them out every single time.
Yeah, I mean, Lancaster have had a bit of an off record, as you said, against Warwick. York, obviously, probably one of the, I don't know where to place them, maybe the third best team we have in the summer tournament. It's definitely going to be a great semi final, that's for sure. It will be a tight matchup, but Lancaster obviously not being able to beat Warwick and York being able to beat Warwick. We'll have to see if York can be the undoing of Lancaster, the same as Warwick have been.
Mm-hmm. Interesting to see whether York have really improved here. Unfortunately, if we look at the curve over just this season, they have gone down in terms of their score against Lancaster, but in general, teams tend to improve. Interesting to see whether that is going to be the case here.
Yeah, we are just waiting for the vetoes to come through and to make sure the server is sorted. There's a little bit of a delay going on just now. It shouldn't be too long though, as we do just wait for the players to get in, make sure they get that veto done, and then we can discuss further from there.
Mm-hmm. Just see. Sorry, just gonna have to clear my throat. It will be interesting to see whether that does go on or not. Going back to those bans that you were discussing, we did see Lancashire take away both Nuke and Train in both ban systems that they're going with. Why do you think they're trying to take away these specific maps?
I mean, Nuke and Train themselves are probably the two most structured, at least Nuke anyway. It's the one of the most structured maps
Yeah.
in the game right now for CS, and it's quite hard to get that, especially if you're playing in a university team. You may not be practicing quite a lot, and it's hard to sort of get a system out. It's not something a map you can sort of pug on. You can't just go in and make the call. You've got to have a knowledge of the map, play in a team, get a system set up on the map, and it's quite hard to do when you're not practicing a lot. So it'll be interesting to see whether they actually let that go through. Because if you're playing against another team that's also in similar circumstances, you may want to let that map go through, but I doubt it. Obviously, Train as well, one of the most popular maps for most teams in CS. See it banned a few times, but again, takes a little bit of structure. You need a couple executes to make sure you're able to get the sites down, take control of the sites, especially that A site on Train. It's so difficult to take if you're not using your smokes, using your utility properly, which again takes system, takes practice, takes a good leader with great knowledge of Train.
I am interested to see what is going to come out in the balance. It just seems a little bit strange to me that York keep on letting Lancaster go uh, to overpass because they've won pretty consistently on it, especially against York, who seem to struggle in their last meeting, going 16-4, which that's just an abysmally low score for them.
Yeah, especially it's quite an odd scoreline considering the first matchup these two had in the season. It was a 16-14, so that's literally as close as it can get without going to overtime. That's a full 30-round game as well, and then to go to the next map and only get 4 rounds, that is, I don't know. Maybe they just thought they were stronger on overpass. It could have been an off day possibly for Lancaster on that map. It's hard
Mhm.
to tell. Um, but historically, Lancaster, their best map is Overpass. So I'd like to see something from York where they maybe throw it up a little bit, throw that first ban out being Overpass, make sure that Lancaster can't get their first map, make them feel uncomfortable, get them off sort of get them out of their box, make sure that they feel uncomfortable going into the best of three.
And I don't know if going towards this overpass is going to really work so well, especially since, as we mentioned, going from 16-14 to 16-4, it feels like you kind of getting figured out like that. You're getting completely read and picked apart at the seams. So what I want to see come out from, as you said, from York here, is something different, something really different.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell what their first map pick will be. Obviously, because of the best of ones, you ban down two of the last map. But if I look at the bans between these the two teams in their last matchup, Inferno and Dust 2 is commonly last banned for York. Inferno and Dust 2 again for Lancaster. Um, so it'll be interesting to see. I think Inferno, Dust 2, and Overpass are the most likely maps. However, you never know. Cash should come through. York have been first banning Mirage every time, so I doubt that map will be coming out. We could see a nuke pick. Lancaster have been banning that sort of their third ban in these best of ones. Um, it's there's definitely possibility for the veto to sort of just been thrown up in the air here by either team. If they want to just try and get their team, the enemy team, to feel uncomfortable, there's definitely a lot they can do here in the veto.
There is, and I think going to something, maybe dropping the Mirage ban and instead replacing it with something else, and as I'd probably say, take away that overpass would really throw them off and make them think, well, maybe they are okay at playing this, and they're actually bringing this out at a late stage to try and catch us off guard.
Yeah, it seems that we are just getting a server change underway. We'll just have to wait for that to get done, and then we can hopefully get the veto in. Stop talking about what the veto might be, and actually talk about what the veto is. We just wait and see for that to come out now.
Get those cold, hard facts. We have got a couple of plays in here, and here's a player that's in the server right now that I really do want to highlight. It's Tobbs.
Yeah.
Fantastic player, and just constantly in pretty much every scenario since been such a big fragger for this team.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. I believe he is the AWP player for
Yeah.
Lancaster. And when I watched him last on Overpass, he had such a profound impact. And that's a map you really want to see the Orbs come out. You know, we see historically players like Device, that's their best map. Getting that AWP out on that CT side, making sure you get those early picks, giving your team so much information, map control towards A sites, towards A mid, I should say. And Tobbs, he was just doing that. He was absolutely hitting all the shots with the AWP. I saw him on Mirage as well, where he's absolutely fantastic. He's going to be a key player here for Lancaster if they want to make sure that it's a breeze past York.
Yeah. It certainly will be fascinating to see him come out. And if we do code, so we were talking about the bans and that it could end up going towards Dust 2, sorry, and how he's going to make an impact there, because obviously there are some historic sightlines on this map with which to play, and whether
Yeah.
he'll be able to take control of that, obviously gain the information, and maybe even find those early picks.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much you can do with the AWP on Dusty. I mean, you play it towards A long on that CT side, get the information. You can even go aggressive with it, get up close to those doors, make sure that you clear that out. Or, the most common one, you see it in MM, Pugs, whatever, where these teams will just play their AWP mid, see if they can get the early information towards the, I call it suicide. I'm not sure what the actual call is for it though, or graveyard as some call it. But the problem with players like Tobbs, he seems to be quite an aggro one. And for an AWPer to be aggro and dust, he needs to be really confident in himself. And I'm not sure I saw that from him, especially when I was playing Mirage. He seemed a little bit too passive for my liking when he's playing with that AWP. But maybe could just be an off date. We'll have to wait and see.
Oh,
I believe we've got the veto coming through now. So I'll just go through that. Lancaster banning Nuke first. I think that was expected. I mean, we've seen it in the past two vetoes by them. They've banned Nuke every time. The second one, though, is actually surprising to me. It's Cash. That has been first banned by York. That was usually sort of their fourth ban, one of the last bans they had. So it's interesting. I'm not going to let that go out. But you'll be happy to know, Rook, that Overpass will be the first map. That is the map pick of Lancaster.
that honestly seems like such a travesty for York going there. But interestingly, they have made a counterpunch. They are now picking something which we didn't really expect coming in here, picking, I believe it's Train there. And that's
Yes.
something that we've actually seen banned by Lancaster multiple times, even banning it first in their first outing.
Yeah. So maybe Lancaster made a little bit of a mistake here, because York I haven't seen them play Nuke at all here. So it's a bit awkward to go for that first Nuke ban anyway, because it's hardly going to be someone's first pick. You rarely see that in a lot of tournaments. Usually teams like to let that go for that third map. But it seems they've gone for that first ban. They've let Train go through. We'll have to see how they do on it. And Lancaster have actually gone for the Dust 2 ban and York the Mirage ban. We expected that Mirage ban. What I'm interested about though is that Cash was actually the first ban for York. I thought they would have liked that map to go through, possibly get it into their second map, or sorry, their third map. But it was two of the maps we expected. Inferno will be the third map, the deciding map if needed.
I do like that they attempted to change things up here in this ban phase, and I think it's actually huge to take that ban out. Take these bans differently and try and, as you mentioned before, catch them off guard. And that's what they need to do to Lancaster here, because the first game they just about lost, but they just got completely demolished the second time they came around on this overpass map. And we are heading back there for a third. And will it be the three-peat for Lancaster?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Overpass, I think, really is going to set the tone for this best of three going into it. Lancaster, obviously, as we've talked about multiple times throughout the broadcast so far, it's their best map by far. I think it's hard to sort of argue about that. But if Lancaster do not get a good start, do not take Overpass, I honestly think York would be able to take this map and then take Train as well. Lancaster, I haven't seen much from them in Train. I'm a little bit eerie about them going on to that if they lose Overpass. But this first map really is going to set the tone going through what's going to happen in this best of three.
Mm-hmm. Will be certainly interesting on this overpass maps. And again, these players we want to highlight, Tobbs will be fantastic here on overpass. Excited to see what they will bring to the game.
Yeah, I mean, Inferno, though, if that does go to a third map, that really is just up in the air. I really have no clue who's going to win that. My prediction for this, it will be a 2-1 to Lancaster, but I'm unsure, really. I think Lancaster will definitely take Overpass. I'm not convinced about them on Train. I think York could take that map if they're able to get a good start, make sure that they use their pick well. That third map of Inferno, though, definitely up in the air for me.
Hello? I'm back. Sorry about that, everyone. I just had some connection issues there. I'm back in the call now. And we're just waiting, obviously, to get on into this game. Sorry about that, Rory.
Yeah, it's no problem. The game hasn't started yet, luckily, so
Hello?
all our issues should be fixed before that gets underway.
This is really laggy.
Overpass the first map. Lancaster really need to get the start here. I saw when they played, I can't remember who they last played against actually on Overpass, but they had a pretty poor start, weren't able to get into the game. They did manage to take the map on the second half, but really need to see a good start from them. Otherwise, York will have to, or York will be able to take it. Looks like we do have all 10 players in the server, just waiting for the ready up to get started.
Oh, hello.
Ooh.
Oh, I can hear you again. Finally, we're back in business and hopefully getting right onto this game. Could you just fill me in? I have also disconnected from the server.
Oh yeah, all 10 players are in now. I'm not sure if we've gone live. I don't think it is live just yet. Yeah, I don't believe there are knife rounds as well. I believe that the
Yeah, I
team
think
who
site
picks the map.
selection stuff.
Yeah. Oh no, it is a knife.
Oh, okay,
Actually,
sweet.
I've just seen.
I love a good knife, me.
Yeah, it looks like the knife
Right
round
back.
will be getting underway soon. I've just seen the admins put that in for us. That will decide the side. Obviously, on Overpass, you do prefer that CT side. It's a lot easier to start on the CT side on most maps, except for possibly a map like Cache. Overpass, particularly a structured slow map on that T side, harder to master, especially if you don't practice a lot. That CT side easier, the rotates are quite quick between each side if you're playing passive. Aggression on Overpass as a CT is quite easy to coordinate as well. There's a lot of places you can go aggressive as well. I think the CT side definitely favoured it for whoever wins the knife.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to be getting into that just a second. I think this might be it. We've seen some deagles getting bought, so presumably that's just for show. Obviously, reset straight after the knife round, and we're going to see who's going to be choosing that side. And what side do you expect teams to really be picking here?
Yeah, definitely the CT side. As I said, I think
Yeah.
the CT side.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's all right, but the CT side, I think I personally would favour that just because of the reasons I put forward. I think definitely the map control is easier to take as the CT side. Overpass particularly is quite a structured map. You need to play that slow play style, make sure you're taking the map control properly, not giving up too much as well. It's easy to take map control on the CT side. It takes less communication than it would on the T side. Yeah, I think definitely the CT side for me personally. I believe the knife is underway. Now,
Oh, they're not even using knives. They're using Zeus's.
yeah, in the summer
Real
tournament,
spicy
they've
game.
allowed Zeus's to come in just for a little bit of fun, I suppose. Let it go down. Let all the fun come out. It's summer, everyone.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a party, as you can see those balloons there, as we do get right on into this. Oh! An early pick coming out. They're going to be trading back and forth. You're going to have a pretty couple of misses, actually. In fact, there's only 2 Zeus's left on the side of Lancaster, and they're missing everywhere. There's, oh, everyone's out of them, and now it all begins. Knives going in. This is looking like it's going to be a close one. They got a nice surround there and did manage to finish him off, and that will actually be Lancaster making the side selection.
Yeah, I entirely expect them to go for the CT side here. It's what they've typically done in overpass matchups. Yeah, and that's exactly what's going to happen. I think we expected that from Lancaster. I'm not sure if it's just live yet. We have to wait and see. All right, it is live as we get in to the first pistol round of the NUEL Live Summer Semifinals.
Next side here. So looking at what they're going, what kind of strategy they're going for, they're just going for, yeah, they're looking to try and get at these meeting points early and find those early gunfights, but it's going to be York playing pretty damn slowly.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to bait out the CT side. As usually you have on the CT side strat pistol, you just have one person peek mid, and York are just faking the information now as they go for a 4-man rush through the mid.
Tobbs does get sent down, but he finds a nice headshot, is looking for more, and is sent packing into the underground area, and will just die. There's going to be 1-for-1, though, so it's not too bad for the defensive side, as we do see the flashes start to come in. They're making a B push here, as Exprilus is pretty flashed up. The smokes are going to be there, but some nice shots from him. He's going to find 2, and alongside Enigma, they shut down that push. It's only Savant left, and he's going to get taken down, again buying him a 2 apiece for Exprilus and Enigma to shut down that super hard.
Yeah, I like the strategy from York. Unfortunately, losing that first kill to Tobbs gave the information as they went down connector. What they were trying to do there is fake the information towards A, then rush A, make a lot of noise, maybe even show the bomb, and then just go down connector to B. But unfortunately, Tobbs sort of gave that information and gave the play away. They had 3 players on B as they went into the site there, and that's just perfect read from Lancaster, showing why they are so good on overpass early on.
And this could be a fatal mistake for York to let them have this map early. Enigma going for some really aggressive plays to try and anti-eco here. Eats a bit of damage, but does find his first kill. Doesn't know if they're going to check for him, but Tobbs helps shut that down. And Enigma finds 3 this round so far. There's only 1 left, and he is sent packing. BCG just looking for a pick, anything he can get.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be lucky to get anything here. The CZ, though, can be quite deadly. Everyone knows about that. But great shutdown from Lancaster. Should just be another round for them here. Just waiting for BCG really to go out and die, unless he pulls out the most insane clutch ever.
Unlikely. Doesn't really have enough bullets for it. We'll try and find something, though, and is just trying to bait them on in.
Yeah, but Lancaster, they're just playing this stuff.
Yeah, there we go. Actually, to be fair, it's not such a devastating round from Lancaster because they didn't use those SMGs. They used a lot of rifles and only 1 kill from that round was an SMG, so they don't have a massive bonus round of value.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You really want to let those SMGs just farm up the money, but unfortunately, York did go for sort of a force buy there. They went for the full armor, full pistols, and the rifles are needed to shut it down there, and it looks like it will just be an eco rush coming up from York towards the B side.
Yeah, been struggling so far. Again, it is a CT-sided map, so York definitely going to struggle to make it way on in here. Expertless peeking monster, gonna molly it again, gonna delay them yet again. But actually, the run comes through and they turn around the last time. They now know they're there. They heard the flash. The smoke will come from Experillis. He's looking for an opportunity to shut this down as they all start to go into water. As they get caught in the crossfire, they do at least find one. So Enigma goes down, and that's a rifle for the side of York. They're gonna try and escape, but Tobbs is trying to pincer them here.
Yeah, this is where you want to see these SMGs just farm now, and that's actually a FAMAS from Tobbs there. Spots the boost coming out, takes down 1, but they're getting pushed down, and Tobbs goes down, actually. That's a FAMAS and an M4 given away. A little bit sloppy from Lancaster here.
And it forces a couple of those players, at least one, to rotate over to the A site. They don't know where they're going. They're not making a massive amount of noise. They are still going for this B site, but they are going to be caught unawares. It's going to be just Matt waiting here, whether he can pull it out with a UMP. They're looking to group up now.
Yeah, they've actually got a little bit of utility as well if they want to use that possibly towards the barrels on B. It is just Matt, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They've got a nade as well. There's no armor on these players. Matt's been spotted out, and he gets taken down. That's the B site taken as well. They do need to get the bomb down here, though. And XP with that MP7 just trying to tap away.
Experillis does find a little bit of damage. He's now going to flash himself out, and he's going to try and finish off this kill. The bomb goes down, which is huge for York. Oh, a nice pick from Experillis to take him down. It's now Matwan to try and clutch this out. He is playing here from Connector, but gets killed by Everheim. And that'll be the round still going over to Lancaster, even after a really nice collapse onto the side.
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty good for York. You got 3 kills into the round. You've managed to get a lot of utility off of Lancaster, and you got the bomb down. I don't think you could really get a better round there. They nearly won it, but it was not to be. And the buy round comes out, and look at all that utility and AWP out for Ewan as well. Should be a pretty good round for York here. We do see a couple SMGs, or 1 SMG, sorry, just on Everheim.
Yeah, I think maybe they're looking to catch them on these close angles, as they are looking to try and slow them down and force them into these closer range battles around Monster and such. But actually, it's going to be York looking for some fast pushes here where they can. At least gathering some information with El Savant playing Connector here.
Yeah, Lancaster, they've got that information towards mid as well. Able to spot out that there's no one there currently. Tobbs playing towards A long as well. So much information from Lancaster, and that's what I was saying at the start of the game. It's so easy for the CT to take information towards that A site.
And they even push aggressively, but that's a nice shutdown from York. And with 2 picks, they're going to walk onto this B site. But unfortunately, Experillis is waiting there with a foot mask, going to shut them down. And now he's going to start nading, using that utility to slow them down as the rotates start to come through for Tobbs. But they're going to push on regardless. Tobbs isn't going to make it here in time. Experillis under a lot of pressure here is going to get mollied out, but it's not his position that get his. But it's still going to be Sigma moving on in. Tobbs is looking to try and find the kill here. Enigma finds 1 as well. Tobbs is the one with the AWP trying to get a wallbang, but can't find a thing, and they just back away from this bomb and sit in safe places.
Yeah, Tobbs now from Graffiti with that AWP, see if we can find an entry into the site that could allow Lancaster to possibly go for the retake. But at the moment, it's in a bit of a predicament as Tobbs gets taken down. That's the AWP fallen now as Enigma in a 1 versus 3 to try and keep the clean streak for Lancaster going.
He is looking for an opportunity. He finds one, which is, decent enough, but BCG, ever stalwart, will find him and finish him off for the round. And that's a point on the board for for York, and that's absolutely huge because now they can start to work on that. They have the economy as well to try and challenge this next round. And I think Lancaster might struggle to put together a full buy here.
Yeah, they've actually gone for 2 AWPs here, 2 deals, a UMP as well. It's definitely a mixed buy. York got so much damage done in that second round and obviously the gun round as well. And now look at their buy. They've got the AWP and Ewan. They are going to take a little bit more aggression towards A, and Tobbs accidentally shoots, and that gives away his position early on, so he has to fall back.
Will be Tobbs moving back in towards these toilets. And there's still a lot of these players around A. They're actually pushing pretty slowly. York starting to find their footing and feeling a lot more comfortable. They don't need to go for these rushes anymore, is the way they feel about this. So they will find perhaps a bit more success with the more measured style. But they're going to be using a lot of utility here to hit very few people. It's a nice flash. He will flash himself in, but needs to be careful. He does not know where Tobbs is. And Tobbs will find the opening pick onto El Savant. He's going to smoke himself off and start to look for another one. He is going hunting, and hopefully for him, it will be Mat 1 season, and that'll be another pick for Tobbs. As we said, this playmaker on the AWP. As Enigma still down here in tunnels and looking for an opportunity to find a close kill.
Yeah, Overpass really is the playground for the AWPers here. Tobbs, a fantastic job in getting those 2 picks towards A long. That smoke, I think, led York into sort of a false sense of security, and he just peeks out into it, takes another player down. That's Mat 1 and Savant down to A long. Early lead for Lancaster, and considering the buy, that's exactly what Tobbs needs to do.
Yeah, they could not find the weakness of the Lancaster buy, and instead they just met the full brunt of the spear, and York will just pretty much fall under its might. BCG will try and get himself on in. Enigma, with some unfortunate timing, gets completely flashed up. I will find a pick, and Sigma does look to get the plant. BCG under a lot of pressure, and this is a fantastic flank from Enigma. He does eat an AWP shot for his trouble. It's now down to Iwan to possibly clutch out here. Finds another one, and he's got 2 more to kill on the board. They are in front of him. He can't see them. Smoke is down. Having a look for him. Looking for an opportunity. Finds one. Looks on second. He's trying to find the knife. He finds some damage. He's trying to kill Tobbs here. The pick is still going through. And that will actually be Tobbs who finds the kill. A knife. He might not even have enough time. Maybe just about. This is a nail-biting finish for the side of Tobbs, as he will get the defuse here.
That is so unlucky for Ewan there. He gets 4 kills into the round. What we didn't point out, though, is actually Enigma with that fantastic flank. I believe he was just sitting on the sandbags originally and just came out. They didn't check it from York. A mistake by them, but a round for Lancaster. They save the AWP onto Tobbs. A buy comes out for them, and that is a reset onto York. Look at the economy for them now. Broken. It is in tatters.
That was such a key round for the side of Lancaster to win. They didn't even invest that much other than the 2 AWPs on these other players, and they got so much value out of it. They managed to get that nice diffuse, and at least they did get that plant. They got quite a few kills. They're going to have an okay economy as they do try to go with this double AK and find the nice opening pick, which they need to. Unfortunately, Xperillas is here, and he finds a double kill. Will it go down in retaliation? So it is all even Steven, apart from 1 kill in favor of York, as Tobbs is looking for another shot. He's going to find a nade, but it doesn't hit its marks. They have just backed off really far. York just waiting, playing a more measured style, and Enigma returning to his old ones.
Yeah, that's a nice shot there with the Mat 10. The double push coming around to flank behind the short player. Enigma goes down. That should mean Tobbs saves the AWP into the next round, and that's exactly what's going to happen. York, they take a round back after being reset. Getting that entry onto Sigma was fantastic. Taking that Barrels player down, and then they're just able to trade out from that. And there we go, 4-2 onto Overpass here.
Yeah, and York saw what Lancaster did with their AWPs, and he said, we're going to do that, but with AKs. And they did it magnificently, as they do manage to take this round. They didn't invest a massive amount. They didn't have anything to invest going into this other than those couple of AKs. So did manage to get away with daylight robbery, as the same thing happened to them.
Yep, the utility now comes up for York a good amount. No AWPs though. Tobbs obviously has the AWP again into this round. Pistols out for Lancaster. They have gone for the forced buy. Tobbs saves a little bit of money as he does have the AWP saved from the previous round. And now looks like York are going to take that aggressive B control as they did previously.
I think they are pretty aware that Enigma has been playing this connector push, so they might keep an eye out for him now, because Enigma has been the man to watch, as he's actually put Lancaster into a really good position in a couple of these rounds. Fantastic play. They do hear some sort of stirrings around B. Perhaps they're expecting this push again. They're trying to move up to try and get some information around A and then confirm that and do the rotate in. But actually, York are looking to try and push a different scenario, and it might be Sigma W who finds their way on in. Enigma will find some shot, but he doesn't even find the targets. He found people, but no hits. And this will be a big opportunity, because they've now taken over this connector, and Lancaster might just fall apart here, as they don't have that information about where people are going. And that is how Lancaster have been basing a lot of their playoff.
Yeah, exactly. Connector is such an important place to main control of, but Tobbs, what a shot there with the AWP, takes the bomb down as well. I'm not sure if you actually saw the bomb drop, though. It looks like there are rotates coming in, so it seems like it will be. XP is in a great position. Oh, with the Deagle, only finds one and gets taken down by Sigma.
That is the explanation of why you check your corners. He does find a nice kill with that Deagle. Not a CZ, but it'll do the job. A nice flick from Tobbs, but he will go down in the end. It's 2 versus 2, but Sigma doesn't have a lot of health. They do at least have that arsenal advantage. They have the double AK, and they have a hell of a lot of nades. Whereas Everheem and Matt are going to struggle, especially since Matt has not even found a kill yet this game.
Yeah, he just... Wow, okay. He says no way to that. Gets the 1D. The kit actually gets picked up there by Everheem as well. Matt gets a second kill and completely makes your point mute. Literally, as you said, that's the caster's curse.
That is the caster's curse, making my point moot. And, well, you know, good for him. He is doing pretty all right now. Got a couple more things in the bank. And it will actually be a timeout coming up from Lancaster, interestingly.
Yeah. Not sure what's wrong. We'll have to wait and see, I suppose. Maybe a tactical timeout, deciding what the buy is going to be here for York, or possibly just a technical one. Maybe some computer problems, you never know. It looks like the buy will come out for both teams, though. Not sure what York are going to go for. Seems like they are going to go for armor and pistols, but without a full commitment.
Really been impressed with how well Enigma's been doing this game. Does generally have a pretty stellar performance, but really been pretty much the linchpin of how Lancaster have been playing.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Tobbs has had pretty decent impact. Obviously, that flick in that round allowed for the 2v2 to come out, and then eventually the round win. Everheem and Matt, though, not having a great game. Obviously, Matt had a pretty good round last round. XP, he's doing pretty good for his team as well. Seems to be pretty consistent across the board for York. You see a 6-6 on Sigma, 5-6 on Matt, 5-6 on Ewan, 2-6 on BCG, and 4-6 on Savant. Need BCG really to step up, though, and the whole team needs to make sure that they can step up here.
And it has actually been in a lot of rounds. York actually, even though they're down like 5 rounds, they've been finding a lot of kills in each of these rounds. Only in one round, which was the second one, did more than 2 players from Lancaster survive, which is where absolutely everyone from Lancaster survived, as they just got completely crushing anti-eco by. It will be a bit of ping issues going on, server just struggling a little bit, but we will be getting right back on in here as we do unfreeze. So going for, well, that eco, and against a full buy, they might be struggling here.
Yeah, used to be the first proper eco we've actually had come out of, besides from that second and third round. I'll have to wait and see now, though, as York looks like they are going to go for a bit of a split. 1 person towards A long, 2 players towards mid, 1 towards connector. And that's a nice pick there from Enigma. I believe that's actually a 1-way towards mid. He tries to run away, and Savant is able to get 1 back for his team.
Yeah, nice pick there from Swant to take out Enigma. Good refrag. Does unfortunately lose 2 members, but finding these couple of kills is all you really need to do from this York side. You're not expecting to get too much. If you can get plant, that's fantastic. But you're very unlikely to actually take this round, especially since Lancaster have actually had pretty solid defenses.
Yeah, especially towards that A side, it seems to be pretty consistently strong. That
Don't think they've actually won on this A side yet. It's been all B for York. Interesting to see whether we'll see any switch ups in terms of strategy from Lancaster, perhaps diverting some of their resources on that A site towards the B. But they have been, as I said, playing off a lot of this information, so they know they can start to hedge their bets a little bit. As we do see York setting up for some kind of B push.
Yeah, BCG is towards Monster. Looks like the bomb player of Savant is coming with him. He's taking information towards Monster, realizing there's no one there. He may be able to get his way onto the site. That Deagle can be deadly. Sigma has actually got his hands on the M4 of Enigma. That head's been spotted as well. He's not able to get it just yet, though, as the site push does come out.
They will start to engage. Everheem, though, does catch him, and they're going to try and turn their guns away. Tobbs does take a bit of damage, but hasn't quite died yet. Everheem almost gets it, but that's a beautiful plant, and that's absolutely huge for the side of York, even if they lose here, as they do seem to be getting pretty shattered here by the side of Lancaster. It's an absolutely fantastic opportunity as we do see Sigma W go down, because they've got so much money in the bank as a result of that.
Yeah, York seem to be fantastic on these ecos and pistol buys of just making sure that their bomb goes down. Gives them so much more money. Well, gives them a lot more money, I think. Especially, it allows you to get more mollies, more flashes, anything out, all the utility, or possibly even orb. Doesn't look like they will go for it. They'll favour the utility. And we will see the buy come out for Enigma, who was the only one to die in the last round, I believe. It might have been someone else as well. But the orb, again,
no, it's Enigma.
Yeah. And the AWP comes out on tops now, as he may go for the aggressive peek.
Tobbs does go for it, but doesn't find the target because there's no one there. As they do look to be going for this B push, as it hasn't really failed them too badly so far. They've been working that out pretty well, but Everheem will be holding Monster here and waiting for any potential pushes to come through.
Yeah, looks like they are going to hit the B site. Seems to be their typical site. The execute coming out now.
They will get onto the site. Everheem doesn't actually get touched here back at Toxic. Will find a kill. They do trade out. It's 2 for 2. But Matt was waiting here all along. Finds a kill onto Matt1. Finds a second on the BCD. Does die in response, but it's just Sigma W. They haven't even got the bomb plant. They at least have the bomb on them. The smoke will come out, and this is a good opportunity. That's a less good opportunity when you miss the smoke. Sigma W with a fatal flub there.
Yeah, that smoke could have allowed him to just get the bomb down behind the sandbags you see in front of him. And that would have allowed him control over towards water as well. But now he's forced away, forced back towards the pillar on site. Waiting to see possibly if Lancaster will overextend themselves here. But it looks like Enigma and Tobbs are playing this perfectly. Just waiting for the bomb to go down before they retake together.
Sensible and calculated play coming out from Lancaster. As you'd expect from them, the molly does come down. They know that he's doing something now. They're going to peek. They will find the shot, but the bomb plant does at least go down for York, but not the opportunity you want. The situation which you want when you do make that full buy like they did. They bought absolutely everything they could, and even then, York just get shut down as Lancaster on this defense looking pretty undefeatable.
Yep. Again, though, the B players do go down, and it comes down to the A site to save the day. However, that was pretty good defense there for Matt in the water. Obviously, just baiting his teammates a little bit, but it allowed him to get a double kill out of it, and that is always worth. Pistols come out again for York. Seems like they've had more pistols than guns this game.
I mean, honestly, in my opinion, never worth to bait your teammates. Don't do it. Bad idea. Absolutely horrific. Don't ever bait me when we play. That's absolutely rude, Rory.
What happened?
Can't believe you
baited you. What's his name?
I can't I can't admit anything, but I'll just say his name is Reed.
He hates it.
I can't believe he's done this, but we do actually have these teams playing pretty slow at the start of most of these rounds. They are going for a sort of, more tactical style, one would argue, or as you said, just playing these more patient defaults and getting as much aggression out of the enemy team as they can and punishing it.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a nice pick coming out from Sigma.
I was actually able to watch that, and that was a very good shot, but they do just come through the smoke there, but XP only gets 1 kill, and Ibrahim, he's not able to hit his shots, and he is going to go down to the molly. Does get one in the meantime. Matt left alone on the site.
That's actually brutal. Really nice wallbang from Sigma, expecting it. They have been playing water a lot there. Tobbs is now trying to find a shot from Sniper's Nest. Bomb plant, I believe, is going down there. Yeah, it is going to go down, and Tobbs is in a terrible situation. He's trying to find a wallbang. Unlikely to find all too much. Will find that nice shot there onto Iwan, but is very low. Trying to look for something here. He hit Sigma there.
Yeah, through the wall. He's got a molly as well. This is actually really
guy's crazy. He's good. He's looking for the fuse. They're not stopping him. He's in the last few seconds. El Savant will take him down, and Tobbs does try for the cheeky defuse, but it doesn't quite work out for them as York do take their third round.
Yeah, he had a molly on him as well. If he mollies short there and just sticks the bomb, he has it because they can't go through the molly. I don't think he realised though that he had that grenade. And again, York able to get around on the pistols. I believe it's the second time now they've got around on these pistols. It will be a force buy out from Lancaster as well.
Fantastic. They put them in a position which they really can't abuse. It's down to York to do it now, as they did actually. Last time we saw a force buy from the side of Lancaster, it didn't go so well for the side of York, as they did eat a lot of AWP shots from Tobbs. Got to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Seems to be the strategy for Lancaster to just make sure Tobbs gets this AWP out.
Just put Tobbs on an AWP. Nothing else really matters. We can make do with absolutely anything. As actually, we've seen Enigma and Everheem succeed with pretty low, and Exploras succeed with really low quality weapons.
Yeah, I mean, the Deagles have been a big player in this map so far. I'll have to wait and see. Enigma, though, alone in Connector, he's done it a couple times now, and both times, I think he's done it twice, and he died both times. It's not great to play alone.
He's done it so many times.
Yeah.
He does actually almost kill Sigma there, though. Keep that in mind, like, Sigma's gone down all the way to 3. Not dead, for sure, but he did a pretty darn good job.
Yeah. Any damage helps in the end.
Every little helps, as we all know. They're going towards the A side, which they've struggled to take so far, as we'll be looking for that utility to come on in. Iwan gonna throw that smoke. It's coming down. See players start to rotate over, but oh my god, Explorer is finding a lovely shot onto Sigma, who's only on 3 HP, but just needed to hit it. And they are going to even that up. We need to make this point. The plant is coming through. El Savant is looking for an opportunity to dissuade them from coming any further with the use of bullets.
Yeah, that's a really interesting execute from York. A good one as well. It just shuts out the retake coming in from that B site or anyone playing passive. Matt 1 is waiting. He's going to be the player who picks. We're looking for Matt. He's going to try and bait out the push. Does actually find another shot, Explorers. With this Deagle is one hell of a threat. We'll find some refrags, but Everheem going to shut him down as Iwan is just too far back as the fuse comes through from the side of Tobbs. He goes down in the end as well, so that's no gun saved for York. Not even the AWP manages to survive. A good retake there from Lancaster. York seems to be going for this really awkward plant where it's not directly planted for short and banana. Which means they have to peek out into the loving arms of Lancaster, who will happily take the fights with them in that situation. Yeah, and I mean, they've been playing pretty hands-off with all of their plants, as you do see some teams do, but, like, they need to get slightly more amongst it. They need to be there and constantly contesting things, because so far they've just lost a load of these Angels to the side of Lancaster and been too far away to do anything about the defuse that's going on. It's happened a couple of times now. Yeah, and it looks like we will see the persistent B hit coming out from York. Lancaster have not seen anything on A. The call may come out that there's nothing there at the moment. But again, the slow play. Oh, wow. The jump spot comes out as well. And I mean, hey, York so far have only succeeded on B, so they should probably go back there because it has been working. And Lancaster, that's been their spot where they've struggled as a result. Iwan does look for anyone. He checks his corners after that mistake earlier. Will look towards Toxic. Does find a nice shot onto Rex Barillis, opening up the site for his team. Everheem doesn't even find the kill from Toxic. This is a huge issue. These players on this B site have been struggling to find their shots. Their spray has not been on point. And as a result, York take control of this B site way too often and force Lancaster into these clutch scenarios. Yeah, they've just been taking too long to make sure they secure the kills. And especially there, you don't even get the kill in the end with the M4. That should be an easy kill all day. And because of it, he goes down. His teammate goes down in the end as well. The B site taken. That's a nice shot from Enigma. But again, he's finding himself with Tobbs retaking this B site.
Tobbs just starts to back off, decides it's probably not worth it. And I think that's what we're going to see from them as York also decide, we don't want to die in this bomb, so we're just going to walk away. And they do take their 4th round, so starting to look like not the worst side in existence. So we actually see Matt1 looking for this, but Tobbs hears him coming a mile off and launches a bullet at pretty high speed into his face.
Yeah, Tobbs, you don't really want to give him those kills. He'll definitely get them 100% of the time. As now York, they get onto the guns, but at this point, they might as well just keep the pistols. It doesn't seem to be going very well for them on the gun rounds, especially when Lancaster have just been forcing back. They don't go for the complete force. They don't decide to get the pistol around the AWP and the M4. And the aggression towards this B short is coming out now from York, making sure they stop Lancaster from taking map control. But no one's watching connector there, and Tobbs just flourishes on that. Does get traded eventually by Sigma.
You'd think they'd learned their lesson from what Enigma has been doing there, and multiple other players have done from their behind. But York just do not check what is in that connector multiple times and get punished for it every time. They do at least take out Tobbs with a nice rotating from Sigma, but it was a little bit too late, and they didn't get that free kill off of him. Nice pick there from Matt1. This is another opportunity. They're looking for this B hit again, and Enigma goes, well, I know they could go A, but feasibly, they've never succeeded, so they're probably not going to. Which is, in this case, looking to be wrong, as we do actually see that bomb heading straight towards A, and Enigma thinks maybe it's sensible to rotate back.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to decide towards A. 45 seconds left. They can change their mind if they want to. But actually, it's probably easier to hit the A site here, as there's 2 players on B for Lancaster at the moment. USP and P2K. The M4 on A will have to be an absolute supreme play for Enigma.
And I mean, if there's any player on Lancaster that you expect to do it, it will be Enigma. He has been fantastic so far, but he will get smoked off a lot. He doesn't have the vision. This utility is used spectacularly. He's going to try and spray. Does find I1, and that's the bomb planter going down. They will look for it again, as he is just spraying through these, and everyone now is on this A site. Unfortunately, Matt does go down, and Sigma is going to get that flash through. They're playing pretty hands-off. Like sort of a satellite going around the Earth. They're just looking for issues, and then they're going to try and solve them. As we do see them making the aggressive play. So far, I would be scared because, hey, Enigma has been on a hell of a fragger and just turning those corners. They do decide to back off instead. Lancaster don't want to try their luck here.
Yep. Making sure that they save these weapons to the next round. That's more important. The retake really wasn't feasible there. There's no kit. There's no armor on either him. There's no smoke. There's nothing really. Now, York find their 5th round, starting to show a little bit of presence here on Overpass.
They're starting to come back. They have a decent economy. It's going to be some sort of buys. They've got a couple of weapons. Yeah, Lancaster are going to go buy round versus buy round here. And this is the test here for York. If they can take this round, they're looking pretty good going on in, because Lancaster will only be up like by 3 points even if Lancaster won every other round.
Yeah, exactly. You expect at least probably a 9-6, possibly a 10-5 on the CT side from Lancaster, but still York have the position. They have the availability to get that 8-7 if they're able to close out these remaining few rounds. Looks like they are aggressive towards B, but look at the information taken from Lancaster, and that's what I'm saying. It's so easy to take information on Overpass. There's going to be 4 players towards B and 1 flanking as well.
I have a feeling that Enigma is going, oh no, he gets taken out. They know he's coming, and for once, they punish the person behind him. This is a good play from York. They're adapting. And even though Lancaster went, they've never really gone A, well, we're going to go, they're probably not on A, and run around to the behind. But actually, they do predict that and punish it. And this is fantastic from York, because they are actually already doing better than their last outing on this map.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Enigma gave away that early kill when he shouldn't have. Abraham is going to go down as well. A boost onto site. That's a nice kill from XP. Unfortunately, I don't really know what he's looking at there. Does go down. And Enigma, he was just running. He was running through T-spawn. They had no idea the execute was coming out just yet. Sigma takes down Matt as well. Tobbs possibly going to have to save again. Yeah,
I think that's a sensible thing to do here. It's unlikely you're going to find the shots. Say that. It does find BCG. He's looking for more. He is one hell of an aimer. He's to look at this opportunity. He does smoke himself off, and he is going to try and escape now. Decides against it. Looking for that exit pick.
Yeah, he had no kit, unfortunately, so he wasn't able to go for it. But again, I just want to point out, Enigma, for some reason, decided that he should just run all the way through T-spawn there. I mean, when you get up towards the park, you just shift. You shift from there. You don't know if they're in connector. You have no other information towards that. He just sort of assumed that they'd all be inside Monster, which is a dangerous assumption to make, and obviously cost Lancaster the round in the end. York, they'll have the superior buy into this round, and possibly will be able to close out the half 8-7.
You know what they say about assuming? It makes an ass out of LU and me. As LU do seem to get quite punished for that now. Oh, a nice nade does give them the information of where Tobbs is more than anything, which is good frag usage. And Tobbs does have to back off as well. He's looking for more, but the smoke will come down and block off more of his vision. They're really effectively using this utility here to force Tobbs back and deny a lot of that information, which Lancaster have been basing their play off of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Device a lot likes to play around that sort of Guardian era. Obviously became famous by Guardian. That is the Divider. It's so easy to AWP towards Party from there as well. With these two smokes, it just shuts down any information for the AWP, specifically Tobbs, which is what they want to do here.
I won. Looking to make sure no one's covering, but Tobbs playing aggressively here. Will back off. Finds the second shot. This man is deciding, I'm going to put LU on my back, but unfortunately they were a little bit too heavy, and he will go down there. Now LU are holding on site still. Experilis finding those frags. Fantastic. It's going to be just Iwan who's on 4 HP. 9-6 this first half for Lancaster. After some pretty impressive plays from both sides. Definitely from York to start bringing that back.
Yep, it is absolutely fantastic. A nice play from Tobbs and Experilis in that last round gives them the 9-6. So if York win the pistol, the most likely score would be 9-9. And if Lancaster win, most likely 12-6. And that's a 6-round difference. That could be quite huge in a game like CSGO, which can be momentum-based, depending on the team you are playing, and obviously the attitudes of the team. Looks like York are actually going to go for a full set of armor with no kit and smoke, which could be their doom if they allow Lancaster onto a site.
York playing pretty aggressively here. Moving right up on in here, and they just played Ring of Roses with the side of Lancaster. That'll be the bomb plant pretty much straight away, as they do just completely miss each other. And now it's, you're kidding me, trying to retake with 5. They will trade back and forth. It's now 3 versus 3. Tobbs does go down. This is big. Matt is still sitting in water, though. Both of them are now. Everheem, a bit of pressure, too. Looking for this opportunity. Matt one does want to kill, but it's going to be BCG to clean out the final one, and they will get that defuse. And that's the first round put on the board for York, and a solid base to work off of, as they now are on this defense and in the driving seat for this game.
Yeah, I like that strategy from York. They go for the double aggression towards A. You just get that couple players into mid, see if there's anyone there, and then you split down on short B as well, and you can group up connector and just go for the retake there. They're better at trading out Lancaster. Unfortunately, I don't think they realised how many players were actually coming from short. It's hard to tell when not all of them are making steps. The bomb does go down for Lancaster, though, which means they will be an eco into this round, and they will get their gun round out around early.
Will be a hell of a lot of SMGs. Perhaps not making the mistake which Lancaster did, not getting that huge economic advantage early, as they do meet them here in connector in just a second. I can't quite tell. They are just waiting, in fact. This is the classic LU strat. Watch and wait. And they are very good at it. They have been using that patience to great effect.
Yeah, in previous games, they've been absolutely fantastic on the T side of just letting the CTs make their own mistakes. As York, they took early information towards mid in connector, and they decided to fall off. Lancaster, I believe, heard the steps, so now they'll just shift out mid. Perfectly played by Lancaster, going off the sound they're hearing and just trying to take control, but it looks like Ewan has spotted out a couple players.
Iwan finds the first kill, finds a second under a lot of pressure, but will hunt down, finding 3 there. We will also go down, but Matt is going to fall to El Savant, and a fantastic series of plays from York. A couple of kills lost, but a hell of a lot of money because of the use of those SMGs.
Yeah, exactly right. York now will have to rebuy a couple weapons, but it won't be a big deal. They can get the SMGs out, just farm up the money if they wish to. The problem is that Lancaster have got their gun round early, so this could be a bit of an economic devastation if Lancaster are able to get the round here.
Lancaster 5 AKs. Playing slow again, as we expect from them. They do that pretty well, but Tobbs is pretty far up, actually. He's looking to try and gather that information. As York aren't actually playing as aggressive with their information gathering, going right into connector, as we saw from Lancaster in the previous half.
Yeah, this information, though, from York, it's actually quite a safe way, especially if you get it done fast. You can get the information, you can fall off quite easily. It's hard to spam through that if you're not spotted quickly enough. But York able to make the call here that possibly going to be an A hit. There's no information taken towards B short by the T side, as Lancaster are using the same smokes York did. That just forces any players in toilets to fall back, fall behind these smokes, and deny information.
And actually, they've only got 50 seconds left on the clock as they start to set up for this B push as they completely fake that A. Luckily for the... Oh no, this is awful. Savant rotates off the site just as the hit is about to come in. BCG calls it now as they do, in fact, lose Mat1. This is horrific for the side of York as they have been completely caught off guard. BCG trying to use this SMG to its advantage. Does at least trade out with Matt. Now Explorilus is moving on in here. A nice shot from the side of Savant, but he does go down again. Iwan with a brilliant water play to take this to a 1v1 Sigma W on the flank, and this might be a little bit of a taste of their own medicine for Lancaster, as Sigma W is just watching and wait. Well, not really watching, just waiting and listening. He hears the plant, he waits, he kills him, and that is that, as York even up the score here on Overpass, and they're looking pretty darn good.
Yeah, Iwan just fantastic. They're getting the 2 kills, delaying Lancaster enough so that Explorilus has to try and go for the plant, and unfortunately gets taken down there. A nice round from York in the end. I want to point out that Matt actually went for the jump sort of spot towards short and got his head taken off immediately. It was a fantastic shot, but Lancaster not able to capitalise off that entry.
Fantastic from them. And now York have been really switching up the way they've been playing as well. Iwan actually continuing to use this SMG, trying to get some sort of, bonus round going on here, get a hell of a lot of money, and just get that extra buffer, even if they do lose a round to Lancaster due to some random shenanigans with Tobbs' Zorp or Enigma just having some fantastic plays. Even then, they'll be pretty safe, as they are actually waiting. I think they have an inkling of this A push, and Iwan looking to get some revenge because the exact same thing happened to me. It's him, and Explorilus might just turn this corner. Actually gets taken out by Sigma W, so he doesn't get that kill, but still. Oh no, too aggressive as Everheen finds Iwan, and now Tobbs is moving up on here. If he has half the proficiency with this Deagle as he has with Norp, he's going to be one hell of a threat to be reasoned with, as Savant might just be looking the wrong way.
Yeah, Tobbs just waiting for someone to peek out into his crosshair, but it's actually going to be him who has to make the play here into the side. York playing this well now, as Savant takes down Tobbs, the SMGs, and that rifle just getting some damage done, but Savant making sure he farms up the money. The USP coming out as well. Enigma, 15 HP, 4 versus 1 in a 30-second timer. I don't think he's unfortunately going to be able to win this round or even get the bomb down.
20 seconds, 15 HP, and, just a P250 ain't going to do all too much. And Savant with a fantastic set of kills using that UMP. And York effectively using these anti-ecos.
Yeah, they're making sure that the SMGs are proficient, making sure the money is farmed so that if they do lose this gun round, they have enough economy going into the next round. Not great for them at the moment. They do have Savant on 5k, obviously, with the SMGs, and BCG, he has 3k as well. As now York looks like they're going to take a page out of Lancaster's book as they take aggression towards mid and short B.
But it will actually be the push coming out from B early as they do come in monster. The flashes come in. BCG is well aware, but he does go down. Doesn't quite have the firepower. Mat1 is now waiting in connector as he gives up a lot of that. He gets smoked off. Doesn't give any inkling that he is there. Plant does come through. And a brilliant spray through the smoke takes out Enigma. This is huge as they do deny that. And now LU are slowed down. The rotates can start to come through. The bomb plant does go through. Tobbs with a nice shot, but the Molotov is going to kill off Tobbs. And this is really nice as Mat1 is now going to peek again, trying to find something. They know now that they're down in water. Trying to suppress them. Finds one. There's 2 more left. As we do see Mat1 unfortunately die in a fire, as Everheen does manage to clutch that out with a fantastic Molotov.
Yeah, York did have a pretty good retake Molotov strat there coming out, just trying to Molotov off the common positions, but unfortunately for them, Lancaster were all playing in the water. They managed to win the round as well. The economy not in a great place. It seems the SMGs didn't do enough for the CT side, as now Lancaster. Full rifles against the pistols and one SMG allows them to possibly retake the lead for the first time in the CT half.
Right, now playing this aggressive connector position, looking for someone to move on up here. And a gap through the smoke. Does jump in and gets taken out promptly. Tobbs waiting for him, expecting it because, you know, Lancaster can use it. They expect it to be used back against them as there's only one player now on this B site. And I know Savant is, well, a Savant with this UMP, but I don't really feel his chances.
Yeah, I mean, the best he can really hope for is maybe one kill, possibly a second, but the UMP, not the best weapon for trying to spray down really multiple opponents, especially with armor and AKs. The amount of utility they have on Lancaster as well should mean this toxic position does get mollied out.
He is waiting. In fact, Lancaster using a lot of their time. This gives an opportunity for Matwan to get up behind them. Does actually get caught out by Tobbs, and Tobbs watching and waiting, and we're seeing Explorilus walk up and just take out Savant here as Sigma. There's going to be one of the last few left trying to find that deco kill. We'll struggle with it. It's not an easy weapon to hit with. And we do actually see BCG just on the other side of the map.
Yeah, he's coming through connector now, possibly trying to find maybe a pick, get an AK and save, but it doesn't look likely as Lancaster. They're playing as a unit right now, making sure that no one goes down. And if they do, there's a trade available. Tobso seems to be breaking what I've just said. I'm not sure if he's going to enter connector alone. He is just going to hold next to it and wait for his teammate, which is absolutely smart. And another round for Lancaster as they easily fend off the force bite / eco from York.
Oh, a nice pick there from BCG. Might even find an AK. Finds 2 kills and finds an AK. That's some nice exit frags for York as they do. Maybe they'll start to build around this. They will actually, yeah, it looks like that's what's going to be going on as they drop the AWP for I1. And now, on this defense, looking to try and seize back control from the side of Lancaster, as Lancaster won the last 2 rounds in pretty dominant fashion.
Yep, the buy out for York, hoping to possibly end the win streak as Savant gets that early kill with the boost. And there's actually 4 players beat early on for York now, as they play the passive A setup as well.
We'll see some spray through those more bangable areas and trying to find someone, find a little bit of damage, get some information about who's there. Won't find anything in the end, as we do actually see some, you know, York aren't playing too aggressive. They're not rotating players over to B. They're just waiting. As, you know, I think it's pretty sensible against Lancaster. You still have a lot of time on the board, and Lancaster like to switch things up.
Yeah, it's now up to Lancaster to make the play. York don't need to do anything here. They need to play passive on the sites. Just let Lancaster run into them. There's no need to meet them anywhere. I think Ewan is actually going to try and make a play. Tobbs has heard the scope, though, as well. And it looks like he will fall back eventually. 45 seconds left on the clock. Eventually, a play will have to come out from Lancaster.
I1 not looking in the right direction. That is one of the issues with scoping in. You can't see the rest. And as a result, he does fall. It looks like they're going to go for a... I am right in any capacity. Explorilus already there. In this long area in Upper Park. Looking for an opportunity to get on in here. It will be BCG holding the angle he's looking, but isn't looking the right way. Still manages to find the frag. Big frags from BCG, and they're still looking to move on in here. They will get here, but oh my god, a spray down from Savant to end out the round. BCG will avenge Savant, and that will be 11-11 as York with a strong round. And they're looking like they're probably going to take this here. Sorry, as they're probably going to keep on fighting here.
Yeah, Lancaster. I have to remind everyone, this is their map pick of Overpass. My prediction was for it to go to Lancaster, but York making sure they put up a good fight at the moment. Evened up the scoreline once again. Possibly to try and take the lead now. A buy does come out for Lancaster as well. Yeah, go.
And honestly, it wasn't like it was speculation, like, oh, Lancaster are a slow team and they'll do really well here. No, they have beaten York twice on this map this season and historically have done fantastically on it. Lancaster should be, like, if you look at the history, should be winning this. And York have just brought out a renewed face for their team. And as a result, have wrested control of this map so far from Lancaster, making a 6-9 first half, but looking pretty fantastic on this second half.
Yep. A lot of damage has actually been done to Lancaster. All players low HP. Skrillex, though, 16 HP, lower than anyone else. Tobbs doesn't really need HP for that AWP to hit, though.
Certainly doesn't. The smokes are starting to come through. That wall of smokes. Actually going to try and deny Tobbs here, who is on the offense this time. Going to be looking for these shots. Still playing pretty slow. Flashes out Tobbs. Forces out the shot from him. They know where he is now. Looking for an opportunity. Everheem does move up here. Can't find anyone. And Iguan is waiting for anyone to move into his sights and eat a quick AWP shot to the face. They need to be careful. There he is, and there he goes. Tobbs is down. Without that AWP, they might struggle to find that early pick onto the site to make their move on in. But they're just going to run on in as they know the AWP is going to have to back off. But it will be another pick for Iwan. He does go down in the end, but that's still an advantage. But not an advantage if Enigma just goes absolutely ham, finding another. And Matt will take out Sigma W. It's 2 versus 3. They don't even have the weapon advantage. Savant looking for a kill here. For that frag, trying to find the spray. Isn't really finding all too much, though, as they are just playing too aggressive for him. Enigma was just waiting for him. He didn't want to mess around here. Not here to joke. Enigma tries to find that shot, but it will actually be Matwan finding the kill. Does contest him, will go down. It's his final player, Experless, on 16 HP. They don't know where he is, but Matwan doesn't want to try his luck. It will be 12-11 to Lancaster. Whether they'll meet or not is a different matter.
That was pretty bad from Sigma. He was in A long the entire time as his team were getting run down on the A side. He took way too long to make his way up there. And Matt realizes there's a bit something off here. There's only one player on the A side, turns around, gets the nice headshot. It will be a CT timeout coming out for York as they do save the AWP into this round, deciding what they want to do. It comes down to crucial time. The economy, so important in this late game now. It could decide the map.
It could indeed. Lancaster up 1 point. But York not lagging too far behind. They definitely have had some pretty fascinating rounds. Great match so far. This is obviously the first game of the series. It's a best of 3. Our second map, I believe, will be on Train, which is definitely a really strange pick to come out from York, as they have been doing that. But it'll be interesting to see, as they have actually been pretty on point when it comes to team play. So excited for that.
Yeah, exactly right. The AWP now. On to Iwan. Looks like he's going to make a play towards B now. Not somewhere he's played usually. Obviously, normally towards that A site. As Lancaster just go for this fast B play now. They will find 4 players here, though, with the AWP available. Sigma actually gets a shot with the USP.
Oh my god, a really nice kill onto Iwan. Was waiting in that smoke, gets forced back, and this is a fantastic set of entry coming out from the side of Lancaster, as it's only BCG on 16 HP. There's not much you're going to do here, mate. He's actually looking for it. He does actually find Enigma, which is a little bit far-fetched, but he does do it. Bringing it out here. Finding that one pick, not hugely relevant in the grand scheme of things, but does at least take away some of that economy, which we did mention will be rather important going into these next couple of rounds.
BCG hoping to possibly get some damage. He could get Experless here, but Tobbs will peek out and save his teammate for sure. 13-11. Lancaster starting to drift away from the York side now.
Lancaster looked to be on the back foot when we tied up at 10-10, but a new lease of life has come in from them. They have started to take control, playing the T side and doing pretty darn well for it. As I think the score on the T side is 4-5. And that is fantastic for them if they keep this up.
Yeah.
It will be.
No, go ahead, Dora.
I was going to say, we'll be playing, again, this pretty slow style. But it's actually going to be different from York, as they look very heavily for information. They invest both of these players coming from the A site really far up. And in fact, looking at Connector, which has been a play that place that Lancaster have been playing around pretty hard.
Yeah, this aggressive mid setup is interesting. They got one player watching connector and one player watching towards party and mid. Smokes will come out though, which actually separate Iwan from anyone else. He's going to make his way up mid here. May not be expected, but Exprillis, he snuffs it out and takes him down. An opening kill again for Lancaster in these gun rounds.
And they will just force York back. York should not have been in that situation to lose it. They had a really nice thing going. They used a nade. They forced Everheim back. They got the information. And just every single time we get players like Enigma and Tobbs and Exprillis finding so many frags. Moving on through here. Finding a kill onto Mat1. But Mat1 does at least trade back. So it's only 4 versus 3. They've got Sigma on the flank and 2 players on this B site, I think in water, looking to try and contest from there. So you actually see aggressive plays coming out from Savant. Does find a kill alongside Sigma W. And BCG finding that kill with the CZ is absolutely huge. Everheim will scout out the rest of water and will find that plant. It's going to be just Sigma W who, you know, is on the side of caution as he backs off.
Yep. It's down to Sigma in this round. He's really got to make the plays happen, otherwise it will go to 14-11 here on the first map of Overpass. And it really does set the tone for the rest of the series. York will go into that map picks to have a little bit more confidence, and Tobbs nearly dies there, but Everheim able to save him, and that's 14-11. Lancaster now starting to drift even further away from York. Was 11-11 at one point, 3 rounds in a row for Lancaster.
And what happened to York? Because they looked fantastic going to these first 4 rounds of this half. They had a really nice T side. Everything was looking fine and dandy, and then it just fell apart for them.
Yeah, I think Lancaster just started to outplay them. York getting a little bit too aggressive for my liking, like that play we saw in mid from Iwan. There's no flashes for him. He has no information really on how many players there are. And it seems to just broken apart. They've sort of run out of ideas on the CT side now.
Yeah, I mean, they have been struggling really to find too much. I think Lancaster, much like what we saw over their 2 matches which they played, have started to get their number. And even though York have been fantastic in varying up a lot of strategies, Lancaster have just, you know, gotten on top of it. They're reading what's coming from seeing who's in what position. They're playing really, really defensive defaults. York aren't finding all too much. And they are now running a pretty aggressive CT strat. They will see the one. Not expecting a massive amount more, perhaps, but as everyone starts to go on in, Enigma will find 1 kill, and York do actually find a kill onto Exprillis, but it's not going to amount to a massive amount, as they do just get mown down by these AKs.
Yep. Just leaves Savant now in the 1 versus 4. Won't be able to pick up a weapon as Everheim will take him down 15-11. It is now match point for Lancaster hit on Overpass.
Yeah, and York have to buy up here. Well, evidently. As they do start to pick up these last few weapons, looking to clutch it out. They need 5 rounds in a row to win this out here, and that's going to be a tall order.
Yep. Double AWP out for York now. Trying to switch up. Must be allowing the double AWP to go for double aggression. Iwan does try and go for the mid peak. Unfortunately, is fully flashed. Has to fall back towards the top of connector.
You say find a bit of damage onto Tobbs as this utility does come on in. Iwan deciding doesn't want to get shot in the side of the head as happened previously from Enigma, so is going to fall right back to the site. Is actually the only player on A. We do have, I believe, Sigma in connector, but other than that, he's pretty short-handed.
Yeah, and the problem for Sigma now actually is he's separated from his team, and so is Iwan. Oh, but he misses that shot as well. That is not great. As Sigma goes down, I'd be absolutely furious as Lancaster find the opening kill hit on match point.
That is actually really huge because it also opened up Sigma to die. He really let the team down the hair. He needed to find that shot if they had a chance here. Not looking so good because, as I said, their chances are fading fast. To find something, perhaps BCG looking at this connector, but it's looking like everyone's going to be going A. It's Lancaster starting to move on up here. Savant back at Optimus. The smokes will come towards Banks. The flashes are all over the place. Savant Speak aggressively. Almost finds the kill, but Experilis will get those good shots, and that's what we've come to expect from them. Will be these last couple of members of York trying so very desperately to find these couple of kills. BCG finds a wallbang, looking for another. We have him going down as well. Oh, Matt going down. Fantastic play from Matt one. Experilis on 3 HP and Tobbs with the AWP. Can't die to a single shot, both of them. It's coming off, obviously. Fantastic no-scope. Experilis, unfortunately, does close out that round with a good punish on 3 HP.
Yep, and that means Lancaster Bombers will take over past their map pick. We'll just take a short break as we go into the second map of Train.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NUEL Summer Season Playoffs. Round one, we have York versus Lancaster. We're on map 2. Joining me, I have Rory. How are you doing today, Rory?
I'm doing really good, enjoying the Counter-Strike we have on offer today with Lancaster versus York.
And it has been a fantastic series so far. 16-11 on the first map. Overpass, which was Lancaster's choice. They did take the win there. And, you know, we actually saw some fantastic plays come out from York, but they just struggled to close it out.
Yeah, I mean, towards the end of the game there, they just weren't able to get sort of the momentum they had. They started to lose. As soon as Lancaster broke the streak, they just sort of plateaued until eventually they lost the map. They're going to need to be a little bit stronger than that. They need more ideas on that CT side. They're doing a lot of the same things. And obviously, that missed shot from Iwan as well, allowing Sigma into connector. You can't be allowing stuff like that. That is game changing, and it, well, allowed the map to go to Lancaster.
Mm-hmm. Will be a big struggle for them. They are now on their map, and I'm interested to see what levels and how many different kind of strategies they'll be bringing out. Whether they have a lot of diversity here, because obviously, if they picked it, they've probably got something prepared for us here.
Exactly. We haven't seen Train that much in the NUEL Summer Tournament, especially games that have been on stream. I don't believe York or Lancaster have played it this season yet. Not quite sure on that, but they definitely haven't played it against each other. So it'll be open to interpretation on who will win this one. The Zeus is coming out for the knife round to decide the sides. Lancaster won the previous knife round to give them that CT start. CT side preferred again on Train. I'll have to wait and see what goes on as the Zeuses start flying.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a map that I'm actually feeling really good for York on, purely because we saw Lancaster ban this map twice in the regular season. So I'm feeling pretty good for the side of York, especially if there's something prepared. But this is going to be some fantastic knife blade from Everheim. Better with knives than he is with guns. That's rather unfortunate, isn't it?
You hate to see it. You hate to see it. And unfortunately, Everheim will lose, which means York get the second knife round and they get the side choice.
Mm-hmm. I'm ready. It is going to be, as we said, 1-0 up to Lancaster so far. Just going to see which side they're going to go towards. We're going to have a player restart, but shouldn't be too long to sort these tech issues. So, you going into this, what do you think the score is going to be, Rory? Give me a lowdown of what this matchup will be.
Well, for me, I think York will take the map. They showed a little bit of resilience on the T side of Overpass, and on the CT side, they just sort of slowed down. With their map pick, they should have the confidence. They should just forget the previous map, go into this with a new head. They had great team play. They seem to have pretty good communication. Their retakes were pretty good. Their T side executes were fantastic. And now that they've actually picked Train, I expect to see more executes come out for them, especially on that A site. That's so important as well. On Train, you need to have the executes, the smokes in play to allow you to shut down the players like Tobbs. You imagine he will be playing on that CT side around towards sort of the connector area or towards Ivy, allowing him for easy picks. And that's what you need those smokes for. But for me, personally, I think York are going to take this map and take it to Inferno.
Just to play devil's advocate, you did say York had some nice retakes. They had some good retakes. But you know who had fantastic retakes?
Yeah.
Enigma and Tobbs. They did it so consistently. Fantastic on that. Explorilus as well. Lancaster's entire defense was based around, they got a couple of kills onto York as they entered B site, and then the rest of the time it was just solid retakes. Fantastic from them. And I like York as a team, but never count out Lancaster here. They do have some fantastic players as you go on in here. And depending on what we see from York, whether they have enough variety, because variety is the spice of life, and the way York seem to be winning rounds and winning tentatively games, they haven't done it yet, obviously, so far in the playoffs, but Lancaster might just shut it down if we're not careful.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely potential for Lancaster to just absolutely storm away with this map. They had a good start on the last map, started to slow down a little bit, but they were able to pick it up towards the end of the half. I imagine they will be starting on the T side here, as York obviously won the knife round. I can't imagine them wanting to start on the T side of Train. We'll have to wait and see, though. I'm not sure if the sides have been picked yet, as obviously Savant has been restarting and just disconnected. But Lancaster, like you said, they're a good team. They had excellent retakes from that A site, the Tobbs and Enigma, the two best players, arguably, for Lancaster that match. Tobbs as well on that CT side. He's so dangerous with the AWP. But the T side as well, you can never count the man out. He can pull off some amazing things with that weapon.
He certainly can, and we saw him just constantly walk up and find those early kills, which allowed his team to get on there. As we are going into live in just a second, going to have a quick restart of the match and then get right on into that, as we do have York going to be on the CT side.
Yeah, that's expected when you win the knife round. You usually go for the CT side. Not many maps you prefer to start on that T side.
Nah, indeed. And York will take it here. Lancaster, one out on the last one. But York on their map will win their knife round. Perhaps they've practiced their knife rounds here.
You never know. Some people love to pull out a knife strat. You never know.
That'll be interesting. I mean, honestly, it's going to give away a lot of their position, but I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference because they're going to basically bottle up this lightning and try and release it all at once onto the side of York. Smoke start to come down, baiting out some shots, trying to pull positions over. They do look to rush onto B here. They just need to find the opening. There we go. There's one smoke. Will they utilize it? Trying to bait them over. We see Expert's, but in this split second, the entirety of Lancaster moves onto the site. Looks like they'll just get a free plant. Nothing York can do to contest this. It goes down, and LU are up so far. They find an early kill onto BCG. It's absolutely huge, and that will even be Matwan going down. Absolutely fantastic from them to utilize this aggression, as they just seem to be shutting down the side of York on this pistol. Savant tries to contest, finds 2 kills. I1 goes down. It's only Savant left with a Glock and a Dream against 3 players. Can he do it? Looks for the opportunity. Can't seem to find anyone else to kill. Catches some glimpses of players, but it just won't be enough. He does die there, and that'll be the first round, and most importantly, that first pistol going over to Lancaster.
Yep. The pistol gives you so much momentum. It allows you normally free rounds. I love to say that. But York, I imagine they will go for the force buy here. It's usually what you do on the CT side on the second round. You can save the utility that you can get extra on that gun round, but they decide not to go for that. A scout onto Savant and pistols out onto the rest of them. Lancaster, decent buy, 2 rifles and 3 SMGs with plenty of utility to use.
I1 looking to move up aggressively. Not expecting the same thing to come out from Lancaster. They even have the scout on El Savant, which is interesting to see. I don't think he was there AWPer as well. So maybe a scout specialist here for him. Found a couple of kills, so wanted to, invest it into something while also keeping low for this eco round and looking towards these future rounds to keep in the same line for the rest of his team. Unfortunately, they will. Oh, wow. Nice kill coming out there from Iran to take down Everheem, but Exploders will at least, take him down and give himself a solid bottom line. But his HP is low already.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I1 got really aggressive towards main. They actually nearly found the second kill. Unfortunately, ran out of ammo with the Deagle, and I suppose that is a problem when you're doing something like that. Expertus now as well on 10 HP. Still a winnable round, especially with that scout. It can do so much damage, 70 damage per average shot, I believe, on that scout.
Be careful. El Savant could be the big problem for them, as he does have that added firepower. Shots come on in. Nice headshot onto Matt to find that kill. 1-shot headshot. Fantastic. They will try and be aggressive. Sigma W does go down. BCG is baiting his player forward using his 2 HP body as hook, line, and sinker, but it will be El Savant on this scout. I'm sorry. I was doubting him. I was going, I don't expect too much from him. He's fantastic on these spray weapons. But he absolutely nailed it on that scout.
Yeah, I was talking about how the average hit in the body is 70 hits, and then he just goes and headshots it. That's 100 damage there with the headshot onto the scout. He finds 2 headshots, 3 kills in the round for him, and he wins it for York. A lot of damage done there by Iwam, and the CZs come out as well to help. Lancaster now forced onto these pistols as they are reset.
Fantastic. They do look towards going back to this B site. Both of these teams seem to have pretty good successes on that B site. Oh, nice aggressive play. Takes out BCG early. They're going to get this plant. It's almost certain. Actually, the bomb's still up there. We do actually see players trying to come up for that flank from the side of York. It is 1-1 so far. Matwan has this M4. These smokes are down. He will be limited in what he can see. Nice flash. Will go right behind him. Tobbs runs up through and finds the kill. Absolutely huge. And Lancaster effectively using these smokes to get really aggressive plays as they just shut down York. Not even losing a single member.
I mean, that's the pistols of Counter-Strike just coming out there. Perfectly used by Lancaster, able to get out before the Molotov came to lower B ramp. And Lancaster now reset York as they are forced back onto the scouts and pistols. Rifles will come out for Lancaster along with just one rifle that was saved from the previous round. Scouts and a couple SMGs as well to go with them.
We'll see the mollies start to come in, trying to deny that moving. The Experilis is trying to move up aggressively, but Savant with the scout, you know he does it. Takes down Enigma. Fantastic play from him. Finds that early pick. Finds a shot onto Matt. Takes him down to 14 HP. He's certainly putting a damper on the fun for Lancaster. And Sigma will get right on top of that, finding the pick. Nice collapse. Savant tries to find that kill, but Everheim doing a really good job with this MP9. Will find his, I think, 4th kill of the round. No, just 3, but fantastic play regardless.
Yep, and that SMG gives so much money going into this round as well. And finally, a streak of rounds come out as 2 rounds for Lancaster. Eco onto York. That should allow them the 4-1 and a sizable lead here for Lancaster going into the T side of Train.
Something really interesting to see as they do. Again, look towards this B side as it has been working out pretty decently for them. At least trying to bait it out. Against this Eco though. I expect great things from Lancaster on this map now. Finding those fantastic pieces of aggression, great usage of smokes, and understanding of how close you can get on this map due to a lot of those restricted sight lines from the trains. It's just been fantastic for them, and this is what they're reaping the reward. BCG is the last member left on 84 HP with only USP, doesn't even find a kill, and Lancaster 4-1 up on the T side of Train.
Yep, exactly right. The buy should come out now for York. Unless they decide to save them, they won't have great utility. But they are able to get the buy out. No head armor available for them, which means Everheim, if he gets up close, will be able to rip the head off of them. As the lacking of utility won't help out York either on the CT side.
Certainly won't. Don't have a massive amount to do. Trying to lay something down, but it's just not enough. Tobbs just barely missing that shot. Aggressive play coming out from Matt One. Doesn't quite get punished for it, which is, pretty lucky for him, but Tobbs eats a bit of damage to that. Some nice spray through that. They get a little bit of damage there. And York trying to consolidate their position with this utility.
Yep. Gotta be careful not to expend it too early, though, as if Lancaster do go for the execute, will be easy for them to take the site.
That was a fantastic frag. It gave so much information over to York, and this will actually allow them to know what's coming. They're trying to get some sort of attack going onto this A site. They have a player waiting to try and make a lurk push onto this B if they do make that execute, but it's going to be difficult, honestly, for Lancaster to get on in here. York actually have a pretty good lockdown here. Oh, we've got a push coming on from 2 different places. And in fact, Tobbs is going to find Iwan. That's pretty huge. Really nice molly onto El Savant. Going to force him back again. This is great usage of that utility and split pushing because they have just been absolutely on top of it. They're going to try and push up. We do have these riflers trying to deny something, but fantastic picks coming out across the board. And El Savant almost finding 2 there with a good... it's Matt One down to try and win this, but a bit of a lackluster spray from him will lead to a 5-1 score line for York. And on their map, on the T side of Train, this is looking desperate for York.
Exactly right. And I just want to highlight that Molotov onto top green. It's a Molotov I don't see enough from a lot of teams. Even teams at sort of the tier 2 level in Counter-Strike, they don't utilize that Molotov onto top green to force anyone back and force any information off there. A nice round from Lancaster, nearly came to the York side, but a little bit of a lackluster spray, as you said. Just wait and see what York decide to do in this round, as they do have pistols. Looks like they are just going to try and flash themselves into main.
And, if you can find a couple of those picks, that's all you really need to do. Sigma almost finds it. Perhaps should have committed a little harder. It's going to be Expirillus and Everheem getting away with 2 kills instead. And York just... There's no way they win this round. Like, no feasible way unless Lancaster suddenly become the kings of throw. But they are just such a consistent team. Flash comes through right onto Iwan. I don't know if they're going to drop right onto him, but that would be certainly hilarious. As that reminds me a little bit of Tyrion as he shoots his dad on the toilet down that hole. And it's going to be York finding a nice pick and getting some damage. But again, in the grand scheme of things, these things don't hugely matter because Lancaster has such an economic and point advantage so far.
Yep. BCG now just trying to tap away with these rifles. He is pushing up, does get taken down there at BCG, leaving I went alone. Was the only player to find a kill this round. He actually may be able to recover that AK from Lancaster and possibly save that into the next round. Doesn't decide to go forward just in case someone is watching it.
I went waiting for an exit fag potentially, trying to find, well, just his life if he can try and keep something going into this next round. I don't know. It's not looking good for York. 6-1. I know I sound like a broken record going 6-1 on their own map choice on the T side of train, but what more can I say? That just so aptly describes the situation which they are in, which otherwise I would have to use expletives for.
Yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate for York. I expected so much more out of them on the CT side. But I said it at the start of the map, if Lancaster are able to get a good start, they really can just use the momentum and keep themselves going. As a buy eventually comes out from York after a couple rounds on pistols. An early Molotov to stop a rush and a little bit of aggression towards close main and pop dog for York now.
Sigma will lay that smoke down. Again, I think slowing it down is sort of what York want to do. I don't know. At the same time, it seems sensible, but Lancaster just excel in these longer games. They're not using as much utility, they're not investing too much. And they only use it when they go in. And here we see Sigma just get jumped out on. Everheem does find it, but Iwan trades back. Nice usage of that AWP, but does go down as well. Hobbs is going to find the plant. BCG is going to go... Oh, nice spray from LS Svant. It's going to be Matt One's opportunity to go down here. Misses the flash. And that will be another round for Lancaster Bombers on the board.
I don't know how that did that flash just not go down the pop?
No, it just kind of bounced and spluttered on the top.
That is unfortunate to say the least. But again, Lancaster just dominant. Seems like they're taking it away and showing that they really are the better. So as they try and secure themselves a spot in the summer final here at NUEL. A scout out for Savant. He's had a couple nice rounds of it. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get anything done with it, as it is just going to be a fast air execute now from Lancaster.
Some nice shots from Enigma. Trying to put warning shots towards him. Matt finding that nice first frag. York trying to just get some sort of crazy flank off. But unfortunately... Oh my god, Expirillus with a triple kill in that ladder area, completely destroying York as they drop down. And I was coming into this map going, this is a really clever pick from York. But honestly, Lancaster are making it just seem cute because it just doesn't seem to matter what they do. Lancaster are beating them out here.
Lancaster, I think, unfortunately, it doesn't really matter what the map now is. It's just Lancaster just playing so well that it doesn't matter. York just don't have the confidence. They're being destroyed. It feels like they're playing like the game is already lost. They're not playing aggressive. They're not playing for information. Not getting aggressive in the B holes and Ivy. They're just getting close T main and close pop, and that's really about it. As Lancaster seem to just be storming away here on train.
They do feel like they've already resigned themselves to lose, as we do see them not managing to hit these shots, failing on simple nades. The team is just falling apart at the seams, and they need to rally behind someone if they're going to even think about taking this back. The man could be BCG if he finds a fantastic shot here. Lead on in, but Lancaster are just baiting them out, forcing even more utility out of the side of York, and they still have a hell of a lot as they move on to, well, the A site as they are looking to set up here.
They faked out towards that B site as well. And they also got a lot of damage done onto BCG. Made York feel uneasy, and that's what they've been doing very well. I'm not sure they're going to commit to A. There's only one player in Pop at the moment. It looks like it is just going to be a re-exec onto B. Allows enough time for anyone who rotated to B early to go back. But Matt1 with a double kill on that M4.
Fantastic shots. And actually, York, I was saying they'd given up, but they have done nothing of the sort with a fantastic round from them. I know it's 2-8 and it's looking bad, but signs of life in the York camps.
Exactly right. That's a really good way to describe it. Just showing a little bit of flair there. That's the type of round that gives you confidence going further into this game. And that's exactly what York need. Confidence. They need to be playing strong and playing well. As Lancaster look to try and reset the York side now.
I need to set up some smokes. Maybe trying to go for a pretty quick A push. On their marks, get set, go. But York have split up yet again pretty sensibly. Getting a bit of information here from BCG if you look on the minimap. I'll show you what's going on as Lancaster start to move on in. The counter nades come out from York to try and stop some of that push from coming through. Some nice mollies. Oh, was on the ladder, could not find the shot as York. An entirely different team we're seeing here. Good focus fire. That would be... Oh, unfortunately, Sigma gets caught off guard. But still, York looking good until Matt tries to tear them a new one. Matt1 hears the noise, knows someone's there. Matt1 holding his ground. Shots whizzing past, hitting the metal beside him. Fantastic play from him so far. 2 kills into this round. The 1 player left, and it is Matt. 16 HP. Looking for that first kill of his third kill of his to try and make a move on into this round. But York, this is a little bit reminiscent of the last map. They weren't looking so great until that little point in that on that when they were playing the offense, when they started to click and they started to get into Lancaster's head and just managed to find a whole bunch of rounds. But hopefully for the side of York, it won't end quite the same way where Lancaster get inside their head and read them like an open book.
York did exactly what I wanted them to do in the previous round as well, where they just get a little bit more aggressive and gain the information that they need to go for a rotate towards that A site. Worked out well for them in the end, as now Lancaster just trying to bait a U-tilt off on that B site as they play a pretty standard default setup here on the C side of train.
Something I want going pretty aggressive here, and we'll get punished. Right, Tobbs finding that pick could be the go sign for Lancaster. They do start to move. The pups come through Divey. Ibrahim looking to move on through here, trying to make sure no one's watching. We have actually seen Savant rotate away from there. Doesn't feel comfortable there anymore. Wants a more safe position, but some fantastic frags coming out from these other riflers. It's going to be Tobbs. Does catch sight of Savant. Trying to find that shot. Backs up. Finds it. And finds the second kill for his team. They can make a move on in here. They have even numbers. They need to use this utility, though. Tobbs has a lot of it, and they need to set up. They have the time. 30 seconds on the clock. Matt just walking on in, finding a kill. BCG going to return the favor. Going with the time-tested strategy of walking onto sites and getting headshots. BCG a little bit too late. Doesn't quite catch this T-side player. As the bomb plant does go down, it's down to BCG against 2 with the AWP. Going to start to move forward. Knows where the bomb's planted, but also knows that there's going to be people watching it. Walks into Everheim and drops dead.
Just immediately drops dead there. Good play from the Lancaster side. As now it looks like the flare, the spark that we saw from York is slowly dying out once again as it goes 9-3. 9 rounds on the T-side of train. It's already really good enough, but they have the possibility of getting a 12-3 half at the moment. It looks like it is certain as they're just being so good. They're the better team by far. York do get a buyout, but it's not great for them.
We'll have to see whether this spark ignites a dumpster fire or a full bonfire. It's really down to them because, you know, they've got to step it up and get right into things, because if they go onto this offense, they're really going to struggle because it is not T favored, this map, and York need to get as many points as they can. They can't afford to give up anything. As we move on in here, Sigma playing aggressive, looking for these cheeky ladder picks, as they have been doing pretty consistently.
Looks like the execute coming out now for Lancaster as well. Mat 1 just on top blue. He's going to have to get the information that there's actually no one coming out, and it will be a fake from Lancaster.
Sigma doesn't see a thing too. BCG plays too aggressive and dies to Enigma. Sigma waiting here. Gonna rotate up. They don't see him. They don't hear him. Don't know he's there. Savant trying to find those shots with the AWP. A lot of utility coming his way, though. Needs to back off. The bomb plant does go down. And Sigma at least has this AWP from BCG to use. Will find a nice flick onto Everheem. Goes down to 19. Going to start to back off. They don't feel comfortable enough to move on in here. It is a hard, tight site to retake. And they have a lot of weapons to kind of keep here. Double AWP and an M4. And a hell of a lot of utility as well.
They need every advantage they can take. So the next round, they need this double AWP out. They need the M4. They need the saved utility. It's not looking good for them. A 10th round on the board now for Lancaster. Mat 1 hoping that he can possibly take down a weapon from Exprilis. And it looks like he will.
Nice that they do manage to find some of that economic damage, as mentioned previously. York are going to need every nickel and dime to get through this. In a bit of a rough spot here. Have just had a quick pause. Not quite sure what for. I think maybe tactical, because they are swapping around a lot of weapons here. As York. Again, putting Sigma on this CZ because... Oh, no. Okay, no. They're going to give him a weapon. All right. That works too.
Well, York, I think they really needed to get a tactical timeout out earlier. When possibly it was around 8-2, even earlier than that. Allows you just to give a moment to reset, possibly talk through. The 15 seconds at the start of a round may not be enough to talk through what you really want to do.
Certainly might not. They're going to get this boost going. York. Definitely have had some stand-up plays. Someone who's shown up for me really here is Elsa Savant. Haven't seen much of them before, and they have been fantastic in this series so far. Excited to see them as the series does progress. Holding this angle pretty aggressively. Making sure no one pushes that a little bit too far, but Lancaster are nothing if not measured. Not overextending by a single centimeter here.
Lancaster seem to be just playing the safe now. Not really wanting to take any information towards B as the execute comes out. The smokes go down, but oh wow, that's a boost over the top of Connector. As now York look to try and take something back in this round.
It is an advantage for York, though. Now the bomb's gone down. The tables have slightly turned. They still have the numbers, though. They can use that to great effect then. Looking like they might be seeing some spray comes through. They do fake that defuse. But Matt is waiting right here, and he is very determined. Some shots come through, but it's going to be it for Lancaster as York do pick up another round. Heading towards perhaps a 5-10 scoreline. Best case scenario for them now.
Yeah, best case scenario, 10-5 on the CT side of train. Not really what you want to see from York on their map pick. Lancaster, though, they have the possibility to get an 11-4, which gives them such an advantage going into that second half. Their CT sides as well have been pretty strong. A little bit, it's sort of weakened towards the end of their CT half on Overpass. But obviously, train a new map, a new time, and with the confidence they have in this game, it should be fine for them. York, though, it's up to them to start to climb out of the hole they've dug themselves into.
York Looking for any sort of aggressive pushes after those smokes, but actually it's going to be I1. The information gathering up, but gathering more than information, gathering a couple of skulls there too. Will die in the end, but at least this team is holding well. Nice spray through the smoke coming out from Mat1 to find that kill there. They have denied the bomb plant, which is hugely important, as normally you should get a free bomb plant, but fantastic kills coming out. At least Explorilus goes down as well. It's down to Everheem to try and potentially clutch this out. 1v2. Mat1. Peek out. We'll try and spray, but Mat1 finds that one tap, and that'll be 5-10. Lancaster going to the second half with quite the advantage, moving on to their counter-terrorist side.
The pistol really going to be the decider, I think, here on Train. Normally gives you a lot of momentum anyway, but at a 10-5 scoreline on the CT side, possibly would put you up to 13 rounds. That's nearly a 10-round lead, and that's absolutely huge. I have to wait and see, though, as a full armor setup come out from Lancaster. A little bit of utility onto BCG, a smoke and 2 flashes, the rest of his team on armor.
Yeah, and I mean, this is looking pretty brutal for York. They've had some flashes of greatness, but in general, they were brief and passing. As Lancaster have controlled this map so far in a way that we didn't expect coming in. It wasn't a map they liked very much. They're banning it very often, and York had picked it. So it was just such a strange thing to see Lancaster dominate those early rounds. See York move on in here. Flashes are coming out, but early headshots from Tobbs. He does find them like a fiend. Fantastic shots coming out from these CT pistols. Mat1 continuing to be aggressive. Some nice shots from him as well. He's ain't no slouch. It's going to be Sigma and Mat1 to try and finish off this round. They have the bomb plant, but Enigma finding a pick like that onto Mat1 is absolutely huge. Sigma's playing the waiting game. But unfortunately, he's waiting in the wrong spot and eats a headshot from Enigma.
Yeah, we just see the body now, defeated and devastated by that headshot, as Lancaster win that all-important pistol. 11-5. York really starting to just diver out now.
Yeah, I mean, York have been kind of on the losing end so far. Lancaster have kind of got them on the ropes. Thank you, by the way, very much. Quick thanks to Dan Bread Shields for doing our producing, and to John Dr. Pie Chia for doing the observation. Fantastic jobs from both of them. So a quick shout out there as we head into this 17th round.
Express spotting some players towards B there as well. Is just an eco from York, as they did get the bomb down. But, you know, at this point, are the ecos worth it? Can you really come back from this type of scoreline?
Can you afford the ecos? You just don't have enough time. You're trading the economy of money for time, and I don't think York have either, really. They have absolutely nothing on their side, and certainly not health as Sigma on 15. An opportunity, though, but Explorilus will just finish him off. Now be the fees.
Nothing.
12-15.
Yeah. Just the bomb, though, in that round. Is that good enough at the point? Normally, we'd go on about how that's so good for the economy, but at this point, the economy could not really play into what happens here. Lancaster have just been the better team by far.
They have, and it's been out stratting, it's been out aiming. We have seen some fantastic individual performance from York, and obviously some fantastic team performances. They've definitely been on the same page in a lot of scenarios, but just not as doing it as consistently, or perhaps they have, and it's just not as potent as what we've seen come out from Lancaster.
Exactly right. Lancaster seems to be using their utility quite well here on the CG side. Spending a couple of it a little bit too early. Tobbs, I thought he actually hit that shot, but no, he just gets tagged down for his troubles. Falls back towards the upper railings now, and just decides that it's better to play passive now.
Tobbs, you're going to move back to this B platform. That shot. If they come down those stairs, he will face his wrath, and he is not very merciful, as we've seen from the past few rounds and game. Gonna see some utility start to come through. They're just setting up for it. Gonna go through these windows. Oh, or not. They're just gonna completely cancel that, and instead, they're gonna drop down here, and they won't find anyone. But that's interesting information, as they know now slightly better what Lancaster are bringing out for this defense.
They realise no one in pop means more passive towards that site, possibly no one towards the T main area as well. Gives them a decent amount of information. Savant and Sigma just stay in pop now, possibly indicating the A site execute that will come out with 30 seconds left on the clock.
They're using that as the time of the nades start to come in. The flash is there. Don't quite capitalize on it. The shots coming out all over the place. Enigma finds one. They're trading back evenly so far. Matt is still waiting for someone to push him, but that's some nice frags coming out from the side of York. The bomb plant will go down. Good spray from Matt to find that kill there. It's 1 versus 2 yet again. Matt seems to find himself in these situations quite a decent amount. Down to I1. Baiting out shots. Trying to find the side of Matt himself. Doesn't have any idea where he's gone off to. Well, in the end, find a click. But it won't be a defuse. There's just not. Oh! BCG waiting around the corner. Gonna find Matt there, and will end up that round. And, you know, this is looking pretty good for the side of Lancaster. Even though York have found these couple of kills, it wasn't huge. They lost quite a few members. This wasn't in any way definitive.
Definitely not definitive. It looks like it actually will be a Mac 10 out for Sigma, possibly. I'm not sure if he went for the buy just because he had low money or because he thought it'd be an eco, but it's actually a force out for Lancaster. They've got a few rounds to spare and they got 3 rifles out of it, so not all in all bad. There's going to be some aggression towards B from Lancaster as well. Look, some kills to this easy as Tobbs and Exprilis take it, and then I believe they're just going to fall off it, which is exactly what they should do.
York getting taken out there. Exprilis with some good read of what was going on. Expecting something. Oh my god, but weren't expecting that! As Sigma just peeks around the corner, finds a double kill. Puts his team in that advantage position again. Winning some of these neutral interactions. Enigma, waiting on this B site, does not know where they're going to be coming from. Doesn't even have a hunch. It's York. Gonna try and push on up here. Good information gathering coming out from Matt to try and find something out.
This gives him a minimum amount of information. There's possibly no one in team A doesn't know if there's right side. Tobbs and Exprilis, though, a bit of a questionable play there. I don't know why you try and go for the boost after you got that first kill. You either just stick in your position and hold, or you fall back towards that B site. 30 seconds left. A lot of utility to shut anyone out of the rotate from Lancaster as well for York. And looks like they will commit to B now.
Looks like they will. They're getting ready. They're not even going down the ramp. They're all going up this high area. Enigma will spot them out, but can't quite find the kill. Shots will come through, but don't quite land. There's just about enough time. They do get the plant, which is wholly relevant now. The enemy has to come to them. I1 going to take out Enigma, who's just too far forward. Evaheem starting to move forward. Might get caught in those AWP sites, though. Has to be careful. Matt is looking for an opportunity. He moves on in on the flank. They're starting to pincer this last 2 members. The defuse was going to come through, but it will be I1 shutting it down, and Matt is surrounded. Well, he's not surrounded, sorry. He's not in a great spot.
No, he has run out of time now. As York take a 7th round. Fending off the force buy of Lancaster. A little bit of a mistake from Lancaster there, though. Don't agree with going for the boost in that situation. There's no need to go for further aggression. You can just hold your position, wait for someone to possibly try and recover that AK, or you just fall back to the site with your man advantage and just hold passively. It's just a little bit of either miscommunication or I don't know what happened, but York get the round in the end.
Certainly will Lancaster. A lot of pressure here. York have started to, show up. And it's not something that we see on this map. We've seen a couple of things, but York are looking, they've done it a couple of rounds in a row now. They're starting to build things up. And Yeah, Lancaster have to be careful. Will be some jumping around coming out. They do have that man advantage, which is, always unbelievably relevant, as they can just trade out from that point and still win the round. A brilliant flag, and a second one not quite going to finish off Experilis, but they do take him down quite a bit. Perhaps not expecting him to be at the bottom of this shaft anymore. He does get mollied out completely. Now they know he will be cleared. Flash is coming in, and actually playing pretty passive. Oh my god, Everheem! Does get taken out in the end, but at least finds one, and as we were mentioning earlier, cute plays. As York actually find a lot of kills here, though. Tobbs is waiting in the wings, finds one, backs off. 1 versus 3, gets mollied out. That's probably the round bell. Isn't really going to be able to find a way back in here, and almost certainly against 3 people. Goes on a bit of a window shopping. Actually ends up picking that AK up. That's all he's really going to accomplish with the rest of his round. Maybe find some exit frags.
The best you can hope for, an exit frag in this round.
So, what do you think York have really changed up to bring Lancaster to their knees of sorts in these last couple of rounds?
I think they've just allowed Lancaster sort of outplay themselves, especially in that round where we saw Tobbs and Experilis just boost up. They just allowed a mistake. That was kind of luck in the end, but York hitting their shots, got good timing, good execute. They're playing well off each other. The communication is so much better than it was on the CT side. And they've just taken the spot of Lancaster on the T side of just exposing the defenses and exploiting them well.
So what you're saying is York are just playing pretty bog standard and just playing sensibly, rolling with the basics, where Lancaster are trying to be fancy and everything and just getting punished for it.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, they are just getting punished right now. Oh, that is unfortunate for Tobbs. I mean, that would have been a perfect opening frag for him. Does just get the tag, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, it does lag him a bit. Sends Matt one on his way with a fair warning. Doesn't quite take his head off there. As York going to start to spread out again across his back area. Enigma. Waiting for someone to come here. Flashes will come through. He is still waiting for the drop, though. Needs to be careful. Does back out. And pretty sensibly so. Can find some nice frags, but he can also eat a hell of a lot of utility. And York have hardly used any so far, and they know that. We'll see some nades start to come through from both sides. As York look to be setting up for this A-site push, they need to take control of ladder room, though, if they want to get here. As Matt is holding pretty well here. Sigma finding that kill into Enigma is absolutely huge, as they now have ladder room control, and this means they can attack from multiple points. Matt is even going to have to fall back as they take control. Nice spray through the fire there, as Matt finds 2. Fantastic from him. Does have to reload, but he's holding strong for his team. Good takedown there. At least the plant comes through, but it's now Iwan 1 against 2 to clear out this round. He's trying to be sneaky. Doesn't know what's coming. They hear the diffuser being pulled. They now know what Iwan is, and with that, could just be the round, as they do have an inkling to where he is. Fire some shots in his general direction. As soon as he peeks, does go down, in York taken off their streak. Can they make it back?
Yeah, I mean, this is what you expect from Lancaster. You want them to start dominating again, especially after how the first half went. They won the second pistol as well, and then since they sort of started to slow down a little bit, it's exactly what we saw from York on their CT side of Overpass. But Lancaster make sure to get another round back. The buys come out. Good utility from both sides. A little bit better for York, but not bad for Lancaster overall.
Certainly isn't. I mean, York are still trying to take control of this drop. because then they can start pressuring A without even needing to do anything. They can say, we can drop here, and you need to be aware of that. So you have to dedicate players to trying to deal with that, or you need to play aggressive into this higher area. I don't know how QPC... Oh, okay. He was underneath there. Sorry, I keep on saying QPC. I mean Matt finding a pick there and going to actually tentatively out York for being on B, because now they're starting to rotate over them. The nades come in. The utility is there. As a result, this is looking really good for the side of Lancaster. As they do slow down York. Only 50 seconds on the clock. Iwan escaping with his life after the shot barely misses. EXP is going to find a nice shot there, trading out with Sigma. But he does just trade out. All they need to do. Nice play there from Enigma. Doesn't quite stop the the plant. But does, in fact, at least find the kill without getting traded back. Iwan with a nice shot there. And fantastic plays from VCG. Unfortunately, let down right at the end. Enigma with 3 kills will help his team close out that round fantastically. 14-8 for the side of Lancaster. You got to be kidding me, as they just dominate on York's own map.
This is really not what we expected from York on Train, especially after the good showing they put up on Overpass. You said this is an interesting pick from them, that it possibly, it'd surprise Lancaster. And you're exactly right about that, considering the vetoes that we have seen. But it just doesn't seem like they have anything much prepared. They don't have any counters to what's going on. They just haven't read Lancaster well. They got a couple rounds here on their CT side, on their T side, I should say. But other than that, they've done nothing impressive, at least, anyways.
Mm-hmm. And they just haven't had the same defaults that have been reliable. They've had some nice creativity, which has netted them a decent few rounds, but nothing that's standard enough. Ibrahim is going to find a lot of damage, but not quite getting the kill. PCG will shut him down, but Matwan trying to move on in and going down instantly. Enigma going to start moving from drop. Wants to connect. They are at this back area. Need to be careful, as that can take them to anywhere. There is at least Matt watching that angle. We do have Tobbs as well, waiting for players to push on up. This could be a death warrant for BCG, as he does just eat lead. Sigma trying to move up on his own, but 1v4 Overwatch on his current position, and they just shoot him down. 15-8, and York are just falling apart, the seams. Lancaster gotten back in their stride, feeling comfortable as anything. And this looks like it will just be their map, as it's their full buy, pretty much, versus a bare bones force from the side of York. And as York have been interesting and they've definitely surprised, I don't think it's going to be enough. There just isn't enough firepower here to get the job done, because Lancaster have just been fragging every scenario. And against Experilis' AWP, you always have to be... Sorry, not Experilis, sorry. Tobbs' AWP, you always have to be worried.
Experilis alone on the site with York, actually. He's being shut down now. All the players are just hunting him. He's not able to get anything done. No real damage. That is an awkward plant there for Sigma. Tobbs does go down, but the trades are coming out. 15-8 currently. Match and series point. York needs something to go right, but it doesn't seem like it's going to. 2 versus 1 now for BCG. It has to be a huge play from him. Otherwise, Lancaster will go through to the final with the 2-0 victory.
And this has been a fantastic round for York so far. If it wasn't a final round, they need this win. Otherwise, they are going to go down in the history books as losers. Fantastic play. That's a good start, but unfortunately, that won't be enough, as Matt finds the final kill of the game and clutches out for his team. Fantastic play from Lancaster to win 2-0 with a dominant performance off of their map pick. So fantastic from both sides, but Lancaster definitely looking the stronger side as we do move on through here.
Yeah, exactly right. That Lancaster just seemed to be the stronger side throughout both maps. They managed to take it through, and they secure themselves a spot in the finals of the summer tournament. I'm not sure who they will meet yet, but we will be covering it next week on NUEL. I just want to thank everyone for joining us tonight, and Rook for being my fellow caster, along with Dan Shields doing a fantastic job on the producing, and for Dr. Pie on the observing. Thank you all for joining us tonight on the NUEL.
Times are down, you know I'll be with you. Yeah, times are rough, this time I see it too. All this bullshit drama, I can see right through. Everybody wants something they can't have, so they gon' put it on you. Wherever you go, yeah, you can take me there. Over the ocean, I can see us there. Let's run away and be forever young. We'll catch the sun where there's no need to run. Wherever you go, yeah, you can take me there. 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 I see you, and you see me too. We may be broke, but we see the truth. All this bullshit drama,